May I now request B.K. Mrutyunjay sir to deliver his speech?
Om Shanti. Our most beloved Supreme Father, Supreme Teacher, Supreme Preceptor, who is the bestower of peace, happiness, and bliss to the human souls. I also invoke our most beloved Father of humanity, Adi Dev, Prajapita Brahma Baba, who is in the form of an angelic life, to shower blessings of light, might, and happiness to especially the participants of this very important event, particularly to the great masters of spirituality. I also congratulate once again our most beloved spiritual brother, Dr. Karthikeyan ji, and also Dr. Yugandhar ji, and his team of members who have made a very fruitful effort in bringing world together, especially in organizing the conference, wonderful conference, that is first World Parliament on Spirituality. You got an is on enlightenment. And also I am very thankful to Brahmarshi and each one of you. This is the first World Parliament on Spirituality. Before I came to this, I had an opportunity of listening a wonderful talk from Dr. Vishwanath Karadji, and I know he's a great friend, philosopher, teacher, and educator. We have these three words: World Parliament on Spirituality, and today's topic is enlightenment. We have a 5,000 world history, right from the golden age called Satyayug, Silver Age, Treta Yug, Dwapar Yug, Copper Age, Iron Age, the Kali Yug. Since from 5,000 years, and particularly from the Dwapar Yug onwards, when you look at the whole history, the world, the theme is called One World, One Truth, or One Earth. When you look at the present day world, the earth is divided in the name of nationalities, in the name of many regions, and particularly when I look at the present day world, the world, especially the water is polluted, soil is polluted, air is polluted, and we have made this world into vertebral hell. Second word, I am not going to in detail, the parliament. We have adopted a system of self-governance, democracy, and today democracy to me has become hypocrisy. Democracy has become a social tool to exploit the weaker sections of the society. Democracy has become an instrument in perpetuating more and more crimes in this world. Democracy has become an instrument in destroying the unity, peace, harmony, etc., etc. So also the other third word, when I look at the spirituality, now to me, in this world, we have so many religions, so many cults, so many masters, so many gurus, so many sages, so many literatures, so many churches, and so many temples, etc., etc. Still, we have divided in the name of spirituality also. We are not united, we do not have a one truth, one culture, one family, and as a result, the world is, to me, though the very purpose of all our aim, whether religious, spiritual, or cultural, educational, government, everything is to make an individual to bring an enlightenment through education, or because we believe knowledge is power. Knowledge is way to enlightenment. Knowledge is way to enrichment. Knowledge liberates the man. Knowledge helps in overcoming the fear, frustration, etc., etc., etc. So, we have to make an individual a knowledgeful being. The second purpose of all our effort is to make a peaceful being, an individual, a peace of mind, peace in the family, peace in our community, peace in the society, ultimately the world peace. That is our aim. And thirdly, to make an individual life a powerful being. Human souls should become very powerful so that they can accept all the challenges and convert the challenges into an opportunity and make them into a excellency. In that way, he can make himself a powerful being and also solve all the human problems of the present day or of the future also. So, also he has to lead a healthy, wealthy and happy life. To me, when I look around this world, the human activities, when I read the newspaper and when I see the proceedings of the parliaments, at least in India and of course others also, what I see, what I feel, what I experience, the world is moving towards number one, criminalization of human conscience. Number two, communalization of human relationship. Number three, commercialization of human activities. Number four, legalization of all unrighteousness. Legalization of all righteousness and ultimately make a crisis. What I notice is crisis. Crisis in all sphere of human life. Crisis in character, crisis in mind, crisis in the society, crisis in the nature, crisis in the politics, crisis in everywhere. And why this crisis is, though our effort is to make one world, one family, oneness, still the crisis is going on and on and on and on. So then who will help in resolving, in changing this present day scenario? Is there any individual? Is there any masters? Is there any parliament? Is there any world authority who can change this scenario? To me, if there is in this world to change this world, what I feel, what I believe is, we all say truth. What is the truth? Who is the truth? And where the truth is available? Where the truth is visible? Where is the truth? What is the truth? We say spirituality. In spirituality, we can see, we can have an enlightenment, empowerment, enrichment. But today, do we have an enrichment, enlightenment, empowerment? This is the question that we have to ask. To me, instead of moralization, humanization, spiritualization or divinization, as I said, the world is moving in negatively. So at this moment, spirituality once again is only the answer. When you look at the science, please don't say Hindu science, Christian science, Islam science, Muslim science or any physics or chemistry, anything. But when you look at the spirituality, it is Hindu spirituality, Christian spirituality or Islamic spirituality, so on and so forth. Why? Because we have not understood the real truth. We have not understood our own life. We have not understood the God. We have not understood the universe. That is why we are divided in the name of many other things. So it is now time, and it is now time to rethink ourselves and understand that spiritual truth, the spiritual understanding. What about from where did I came to this physical world, to this corporeal world? Is there any place beyond this corporeal world? If it is so, what is that? To me, it is called the incorporeal world. It is called the soul's world. It is called the world of divine. It is called the world of light. From the world of light, we the human souls have descended, manifested into this corporeal world, and we have adapted this human body, and we have forgotten our corporeal world, and we have also forgotten the incorporeal God, the Almighty Authority, whom we call the Father of humanity and Father of all souls both. So, at this moment, we have to realize ourselves about our own nature, our own mind and our sanskaras, and also we must realize it is the now time, enlightenment, because the world is enlightenment. It is the time to realize ourselves. It is the time for return to our eternal abode. It is also time to re-establish a new world order. New world order. What is that new world order? not based on Hindu, not based on Islamic, not based on any regional parliament or regional government. It is based on truth, based on love, based on peace, based on understanding, so that we can really enact. When I look at the present day world, when I see the specially enactment of a laws, 0.5 crore laws have been enacted so far. 3.5 crores. If we agree the morning statement of Dr. Karthikeyanji, and also if I believe and agree the former President of India's statement, the present day stockpile of the nuclear weapons, this world can be destroyed 60 times. Not one time. Second time, 60 times from the present stockpile. But have we learnt any lesson from the history? Have we learnt after the baby bomb explosion in 1943 in Hiroshima, Nagasaki? Still mad race is going on. So when I look at this world, mad, bad and sad things is increasing and increasing. So at this moment, it is time to understand ourselves, and it is time to know the Supreme Father. To me, as our brothers and sisters already communicated to you, I have come from a university called Brahma Kumari's World Spiritual University. We have got in India itself more than 500 universities and thousands of universities in the world. But why the Brahma Kumari's World Spirituality? What is the aim and object of this Ishwari Vishwavidyalaya? To me, after coming to this institution, what I know, what I believe, what I experience is to make an individual, number one, tension-free, to lead a tension-free life, pollution-free mind, poverty-free mind, and also finally to make the society crime-free society. Crime-free. How we can make the crime? Who is the mother of crime? Who is the father of a crime? To me, crime means anger. Wherever the anger is there, in the sanskaras, in the nature, in the belief system, in our attitude, in our action, then automatically the crime increases. So we have enacted thousands of laws to control the crime, and we are not able to control because we have not understood our own mind. So that is why this Ishwari Vishwavidyalaya offers a godly knowledge, a spiritual wisdom to first to become a mind, a very peaceful mind, and then overcome all kind of our negative thoughts, impure thoughts, waste thoughts, ugly thoughts, unnecessary thoughts, and conquer and become a master of your own mind, and finally connect with the divine, and also to have a travel, a journey towards our eternal abode, towards eternal abode called the soul's world, and finally and inherit that his nature and become and make this world as a spiritual capital of the spiritual world. So that is the Brahma Kumaris. One is to crime-free society. Number two, disease-free mind and disease-free body and disease-free world. Possible to make disease-free. We have got medicines, we have got hospital, we have got super special hospital, we have got doctor for every organs. But is there any way or is there any possibility to this parliament to enact or to bring an enlightenment so that we can make a disease-free mind and disease-free body, disease-free society? I have got an answer from the understanding of this spiritual education, from the Brahma Kumari's meditation teachings. This world can once again make a disease-free world also. Number three, pollution-free. Now, mental pollution, environmental pollution, global warming, global environmental crisis. All these crises are rooted because of our mental pollution. So the Brahma Kumaris have got an answer and an education. So through that education, we can bring back this mental pollution-free mind. Pollution, when we overcome the mental pollution, which is the mother of all pollutions in the world, then we can once again establish oneness, one world, one government, one family, one order, and that order is being created by the Supreme Soul. That is what he had promised in Bhagavad Gita itself. Whenever there is an unrighteousness, unlawfulness, then I myself manifest into this corporeal world, and again I reteach the godly knowledge or the spiritual knowledge about our own identity and about the identity of the God and about the universe. And then again I re-establish, and that work is being carried out by this institution, through the spiritual enlightened souls called the Brahma Kumars and Brahma Kumaris. And I am very happy that this conference is being held in the premises of the Brahma Kumaris. I am very thankful to the organizers for having thought of organizing such an important, memorable, a global event in which a new light can be emerged, a new thought can be emerged, new sanskaras can emerge, new feeling can be emerged, and finally we can make once again, as per the wish of the divine, one world, one government, one family, and that for one family we have to just understand and practice the meditation. The more we practice the meditation, I am sure, I am confident, I am assured that this world will become a better place to live in, and all other systems that what we are seeing rotten will one day will come to an end, and our mind will experience more and more peace, joy, happiness, health, wealth. I wish all of you should experience that. Om Shanti Namaste.